Hello and welcome to Library Drawing Party. Today we're going to be drawing this beautiful close-up of this horse. To get started, we're going to be using regular number 2 pencil to draw an outline. I'm going to be using a slightly thicker pencil just so it'll be easier for you to see. Let's start with the eyes. And the eyes are going to be about 3/4 up from the bottom of the page. And we're going to start with a half circle that goes into a triangle, and then we have another half circle that finishes the triangle, and then there's eyelid, which follows the eye line. And then the horse has long, thick lashes. Then let's draw the ear. I'm drawing the ear that's facing the viewer. We have a half circle here. And then there's a curly Q on the other side. And then his hair comes in front of his face. And then on the other side. And then there's some hair sticking up from his mane. And then coming down on the other side. And let's draw the line that goes down to the nose, then the mouth. Mouth edge is almost at the bottom of the page. And then the nose. Has the curly Q, and it almost kind of looks like a D. And we can fill that in. We don't want to make it too dark in case we need to make any adjustments. And let's draw the jaw. There's this little corner piece of the jaw, and then a neck. And let's work on the bridle. Just comes across the forehead and the nose, and then comes down to the neck, One of the beautiful things of working with number 2 pencil to start because you can make adjustments as you go along. I want to move the bridle down a bit. On the horse's nose. And then I'm going to add it following the jawline. And there's this ring in the center, so we need a couple of circles here. And then they connect to a smaller ring. Which ultimately connects to the reins, which we hint at the bottom here. Ear is further away, it should be a little bit smaller than the main ear, so I'm gonna make that a little smaller. And it might not look like it, but there's a little bit of an angle here, so we're gonna add that angle in a bit. Now is a good time to take a step back, see how it looks. I think we should fluff up the bottom of the ear here. And add more of an S shape to the main ear. And take the chin in and the jaw in a bit. I'm gonna straighten the nose up a bit. And I'm gonna make the bridle pop out a bit. Show that it's laying on top of the horse's skin or fur. The eyes are a little close to the bridle, so I'm going to push them down a bit. It's okay if some of the pencil is showing through in the sections that we erase, because we're going to be drawing over it with brown anyway. Once you're happy with your horse outline, we can start to work on the coloring. Let's start with the mane because that's the lightest part of the horse. So I'm just going to take a yellow pencil and go over the outline of the hair on the mane. And I'm not going to erase the lines because it helps give it some movement. And there might be some gray hairs in the mane. And it adds some lines. You want the lines to be going the direction that the hair is going. So up top, it's got some movement upwards, whereas the pieces falling in front of the face is going downwards. So you want the lines of the colored pencil to mimic that. Then I'm going to take my light brown and go over the pieces with gray to give it some texture and movement, and another color too. I'm adding some longer lines too for the movement, the rhythm. I'm adding a different light brown. This one has a bit more red tones to it. Okay, once you're happy with your mane, then we can use one of the light browns for the base coat. I'm going to switch to the other light brown. Because I want this base coat to be pretty light because we're going to be layering a lot of colors. Now you can add a white patch for the nose like I did here. Or you can color it in all brown. You can switch the colors, you can make the coat of hair blonde and the mane brunette or brown. You can try totally different colors. You can use orange or black. And if you want to get really creative, you can try colors that you wouldn't normally see on a horse, like blue or pink. Could even create a unicorn if you'd like. You would just need to add in the classic unicorn horn. Okay, once you have your base coat established, then let's take this peach color and let's blend that into our brown. So he gets this nice, almost mahogany tone to his coat of hair. No two horses in nature are going to look exactly the same. So you can make this horse your own. Okay, once we have the base coat established, let's take a break so we can work on the bridle. We're going to be using black for the bridle, and we want to be careful of the highlights. So I'm going to draw circles for the studs. For decoration. And then I'm going to draw in some gray lines around them, and then a black line underneath for the shadow. I'm going to take my number 2 pencil and I'm going to go over these rings. Because this is a perfect color for the metal. And then there's some rings up here too. They're kind of connected. And then let's take our black and repeat the same design on the top of the horse's forehead. And then this can connect to the ring. Then we're gonna have gray. So I'm putting a light base coat of the black, and then I'm gonna add in some shadow. Then we just want to go in and fill in any remaining pieces of the bridle. And the reins. And while we're using our black, let's go in and emphasize the eye. The horse is looking down. And take my brown and add in some darker tones. And take my other brown and blend it a bit. I'm going to take a step back. If you're happy with it, then you can take one of your light browns and start to add in some shadow. This is going to be underneath the bridle. Underneath the hair. Near the jawline. By the eyes, underneath this piece of bridle. Underneath this part of the mane. Near the jaw. By the neck. In the ears. Let's take our other light brown and blend the colors in together. You can also take that peach color and use that to blend in. We want the hair to be pretty smooth. I'm just gonna take the side of my pencil and go over the color once again. Help bring out that brown. You can add in some more shading. Let's take our black and emphasize the nose. You don't want to color all of it in black because then we can see that it's a three-dimensional nose. But we do want it to be dark to match the rest of the horse. The mouth has this lip. And then there's some pink, so I'm just using red, and I'm just gonna go really lightly, get this pink color. And it's mostly by the mouth and a little bit by the nostril. And then there's a couple of lines fading out and a couple of lines along the edge. Then I'm going to take my blue and I'm going to draw very lightly, almost translucent blue. Give it a bit of shadow and shading. Once you're happy with your horse, then we can finish up the background. So I'm going to take green and use it for the top and the bottom of the horse. I want this to be up and down near the bottom, so it almost looks like grass. Then I'm going to do a bit of cross hatching. Let's take that blue and add in some blue in between the green. We want it to be pretty light because we want the main focus to be on the horse. This gives some visual interest. And then we'll take our green and add just a bit of a highlight. And we want to keep some white so we can show the mane coming through, and we'll take our light brown for the edges and we'll use the other light brown. And there you have it. That's our horse close-up. Thank you for joining us in this week's library drawing party. We have library drawing parties every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We hope to see you again, and keep being creative.